actually determine how best we can solve these problems. Maybe after you can add value.
And how do you justify the amount of money you are paying to this company? The huge amount of money that are actually bankrupt to you when you have got a system that's not working. Because to any person who has done accounting, even basic trial balance, you do to the right what you do to the credit, you must know that accrual is so elementary. If this system is not capable of basic accounting, recording, why are you paying these millions and millions of dollars?
Your concerns are not challenged, but the auditor can actually add value to the...
Yes, ma'am, we are waiting for you.
Honourable Chair, I think that what we can say is that the issue has been resolved for the 2019 accounts, as far as we have been informed. We are going to sit down and take a look at the system and see what has been put in place to assist with that. We've not had time to do that yet, but we've been informed that the resolution is there. So the system resolution apparently has been done, and we will be looking at that to ensure that that's the case.
But you haven't answered, ma'am, you haven't answered why you are paying millions of dollars to a system that's not working.
I think that that's something that we will need to take a look at as a board and review as we do our overall auditing of systems and processes that are in place at the moment.
Can I check the basic? So I think we need to move quickly. I'll allow
Chairman, can the board confirm that this system that they acquired went through the proper tender procedures for you to decide? Were there no other system providers who could have provided us with a better system?
Answer that, but we know it didn't go to them.
No, I read it.
Maybe my question can also be coupled with that.
It's linked to that.
Yes, it's linked to that. If you can just make it clear whether this system came about as a tender or as a triple P, where government is no capital outlay. If you can make it clear to this committee.
Mr. Chairman, you can answer that, but we do know the answer. Please answer.
Thank you, Honourable Chairman. There was no tendering process which was done.
Thank you for being so confirm that there was no compliance with the procurement.
There was no compliance, yes, I can confirm.
So my question to you, Mr. Chairman,
and I wanted to answer the second question, Honourable Chairman, if you can allow me.
Yes, please go ahead.
Whether the system, what status the system is, our understanding is that the system is a PPP, public-private partnership, in the sense that the systems provider actually injected some finance.
How much? We asked the provider, we asked Univen, they didn't know, they couldn't answer. We asked Zinara management, they couldn't answer. Because, Mr. Chairman, be very careful on what you are saying. Because how can software be a PP? How is the provision of software? I buy iOS from Apple literally every day. I'm an Apple addict. Many of my colleagues buy Windows 7, Windows 11. How can software be a PPP? Mr. Chairman, with great respect.
Honourable Chairman, we have actually passed the board resolution to the effect that we want to review the contracts. But what we have been made to understand is that the systems provider actually didn't just inject money in terms of software. They also injected money in terms of hardware.
How much?
I'm coming to your question, Honourable Chairman, if you can allow me.
And we also asked them what they actually have done. They couldn't tell us.
My understanding is it's not only the software that they provided, they also provided the hardware, they also provided the training. I understand from the records of more than 6,000 people who have been involved in that system. They do all the repairs at the toll gates. They also do systems auditing.
What do they repair the toll gates?
Let's say
software.
From software and
So
any
they charge Zinara to repair their own software.
Honorable Chairman, we are also assisted to know how much they actually injected, which can justify the status of a PPP. But what I'm actually putting across is the information that we have. And we have a board resolution in place whereby we have agreed to invite them to actually discuss all these issues. But what I can confirm is that the system, as far as we are concerned, is actually added value because our revenue collection is drastically increased. And I think it's a system which is undergoing continuous improvements. That is part of the agreement that they will have to improve the system as we go. So we need definitely for them to quantify how much they've actually invested in this partnership. So we are also seized with that matter, and we are going to meet with them so that they can clarify some of these issues that you are asking us, Honorable Chairman. And we take note of all your preoccupations because we are also having the same preoccupations.
Through you, Chair. This software issue is not very complicated because the basis, according to their answers, of the whole issue started, Chairman, with the database of Zinara. It was built up with Zinara as a database. My question goes back to Honourable Nduna's question. When you now start employing third parties like insurance using a database that you actually supply the basis for, i.e. all the people, all the vehicles. My question is very simple. What protection and what benefit do Zinara get back for all that they've supplied towards building up the system? Because when 38%, approximately 38% of your revenue is collection costs, there is no benefit on the incremental money that's going up. So what protection do we have and what benefit has Zinara had from the establishment of the software?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman.
But you understand the import of his question.
Yes, I understand. We take note.
Yeah,
We take note and
it's an indictment on Zinara.
we take note, and as a board we are going to sit and actually try to come up with a favorable solution on this matter.
Because see, the thing is, you own the data. You provide the raw data, the V11. You know how many vehicles are on that. Isn't that so, Mr. Chairman? How many vehicles are on the roads? How many have to be licensed? How many have to be licensed? How many have to be insured? Yet you allow a private company to appropriate that data, then begin to sell you that data now. Your own data which you produce is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever had in my life. And trust me, I've had so many ridiculous. How does that happen? You generate the raw data. You know how many vehicles are there and so forth. But someone clever then takes that data from you and sells you that data and calls it software. And calls it software. And not for a song, but for millions of dollars. For millions of dollars. Things can't be right. And we as a corporate, you can just sit and watch and say, Amen, hallelujah.
We take note, Honorable Chairman. We are going to analyze all these issues. But right now, I wouldn't say under oath that we have taken this action. We have noted the problem, and we are going to relook and review their conditions. It's not only data, we also need to discuss issues to do with ownership. We also need to discuss issues to do with the skills transfer. So it's quite a lot of issues that we are going to review, and we as a board will make sure that the conditions of the contract will be favorable to Zinara.
Chairman, sorry, the issue of third party has not been brought up, i.e. licensing, i.e. I know that these people are also involved with City on various issues, including parking. Now that whole database is coming ostensibly from Zinara originally.
Do you understand, Mr. Chairperson, the danger of allowing one entity to own such data for the country? That person can switch us off. A private actor can switch us off. Is that not colonialism?
I take note, Honorable Chairman.
Mr. Levy, who owns the Unilever, owns Zimbabwe. It's shocking.
As a board, we take note on the...
Because we can't go to independence on 18 April and say we're independent when we've got this kind of debt.
Sorry. Thank you. Honorable Chair of the board, if you can confirm to this House that this SRTC we are talking about, or Unilever, went through the requisite security checks nationally to actually give them that status of owning such information within people.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I cannot confirm that, but I hope the previous board did all the requisite requirements which are done for such circumstances. That is vetting of the company. I just hope the previous board did that, but I cannot confirm that.
Yes, yeah. I think we need to move.
Yes. All right. Mr. Chair. Mubvunzo wamwe ngoro kuti sezvo sachigaro vari kutaura kuti mari yakabva yawedzera mushure mekunge vaita nyaya yecomputerization, vanokwanisa here kutitsanangurira kuti kuwedzera kwaita netisiri kuzokuona mumigwagwa yedu because migwagwa irikuwa ndiroshata, but mari iri kunzi yawedzera kwazvo. Zvingava here zvokuti mari iri kunyanyowedzera iri kunyanyoperera kupa kuuniven instead yotiende kumalocal authority?
Over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Responding Sean or English?
Oh,
thank you, Honorable Chairman. I note your preoccupation, Honorable Chairman. If I understood the question well, is that we are paying all the money to Univen and not to the roads.
Yeah, that there is an increase in revenue, which you are testifying, but there is no corresponding improvement in the roads. And remember, Zinara at the end of the day, its core business is roads.
Affirmative, Honorable Chairman. But let's just look at what is happening right now out there. The situation is drastically improved. In the past, there might have been some problems, but this board, which I chair, has taken all necessary measures to ensure that more money actually goes for road construction. And out there, I think the situation itself can testify that our works programs have actually increased. Right now, we have got quite a lot of roads that are being tarred, and quite a lot of kilometers are being tarred as compared to the previous years, whereby you could find one project can only have 2 kilometers tarred. Right now, the situation has improved. So this actually indicates that disbursements to local authorities have actually improved.
Yes, maybe some improvement.
Yes,
I mean, in the state of our roads, I drove from Uchirezi yesterday to Harare. It's a dead safe that road, so you can't use the way fast.
Honorable Chairman, our core function is Zinara is to disburse money to the local authorities. We don't actually do the construction. And it's the local authorities which have to come up with the works programs and budgets for whatever roadworks they want to implement in their areas. Our duty is just to disperse funds to those local authorities. But I can confirm, because I've gone right around the country, almost every province, I can confirm that roadworks have actually improved.
Yeah, not just.
It now depends on Honorable Chairman where the trust
I tell you to move on. Honorable Story, your question.
Okay, thank you. My question is on toll gate construction. It was noted that 10 toll gates under construction had taken long to be completed and they were not yet operational. And your management indicated that the delay in the operationalization of the train toll gates was due to the long procurement process, viability considerations, and tolling system. Management also advised they were using Univen on the new toll gates. So my first question is, was any assessment done before the commencement of the construction of the toll gates? If not, why was the assessment not done? Then the second question, what is the financial and operational impact of these uncompleted projects? And the third question is, what measures have the board taken to keep projects done without adequate due diligence? Then my last question is, why has the board allowed Zinara to use Univen tolling system while the commissions for the system are considered too high and disadvantageous to Zinara?
Over to you, Mr. Chairperson.
Thank you,
Can
Honorable.
repeat each of the questions to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Our core function is Zinara is not to build toll gates. We just use the toll gates. Construction of toll gates is actually the responsibility of the Department of State Roads. So we know they are at an advanced stage with the procurement process. And for this year, we have actually set aside a budget to fund the construction of those toll gates. Whether they did some assessments before the construction was done, I wouldn't confirm or deny it here, because that is the responsibility of the Department of State Roads. But I assume when you come up with such structures, you have to do some feasibility studies and assess if those projects are viable. And as Zinara, we only limit ourselves to utilizing those toll gates, which right now are just structures. And Univen, I don't think it's yet there. 5 are operational, but 5 are not yet operational. But I don't think Univen is installed any systems there, because I just know they are just shelters.
I think some of your questions will not answered. Some of your own questions were not.
Okay. Yeah, I think one of the questions was not answered. They want to do with the measures that the board has taken to keep projects done without due diligence.
As I have alluded to before, Honorable Chairman, we don't construct toll gates. So as Zinara, we are just going to use the structures. That will be handed over to us by the Department of State Roads.
Who makes the decision, Chairman?
Is the Minister of Transport.
Who makes the decision on the location of the toll gate? Who's the genius who says the toll gate must go here and not there?
Honorable Chairman, that decision is done by the Department of State Roads. But what I've seen in some situations is such roads which are earmarked for toll gate construction, they will be already on the plan for reconstruction. And the general tendency is when a road is reconstructed and its condition improves, the tendency is that the volume of traffic will also improve. So in the final, that will make them viable.
Chair of the board, I think we are not being fair to say that Zinara only utilizes the targets. You and I know, if you have ever read the auditor's report, Zinara paid for those. And if Zinara funded, surely your answer can be correct.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I think we can refer back to the Roads Act. And I don't think there is anywhere in the Roads Act which gives us that core function.
No.
Yeah, but you paid for them.
We are talking about the auditor's report. Zinara paid. And remember last week when you came here, the essence was for you to come and answer the questions pertaining to the finding of the Auditor General. The Auditor General found it that Zinara funded. And when you then say no, because you answer, you are now trying to say the core function of Zinara. We are talking of what transpired. Zinara funded those.
It's our responsibility to fund, Honorable Chairman, because our duties are to collect funds and disperse. So we fund, right now we have got a budget to put up new structures that are being procured by the Department of Roads. That's correct. But we don't own or have ownership of those structures. They belong to the Department of Roads.
Yes,
Honorable Chairman, I am a little concerned. I am in total agreement with the Honorable.
yeah.
How do they make a decision to fund if they are not part of the arrangement? How do you make a decision to fund a target if you are not involved, one in the feasibility study, two in the ownership of the who owns it now?
Yeah.
You are paying, and there is a department called Department of Roads who then does the feasibility study. Who owns it?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. We fund, yes, that's correct. Just like with the local authorities, whereby we fund road construction projects, but we don't own those. The same thing applies to the toll gates and all the roads. We don't own them in Zinara, but our core function is to receive work plans from those local authorities, be it Department of Roads, and the budgets, the corresponding budgets, and we fund those.
And my question is, how do you make a decision to fund them?
We sit as
What
a
is the
board-
matrix? How do you arrive at a decision to pay for them?
We sit as a board. We have got teams everywhere in the country, every province, who can actually assist us on the information collected. We see if that information is correct, and if we are satisfied with the work plans and the budgets, and then we fund, because our core function is to fund, and not to build on the
Chairman, I don't understand. It's a very simple issue. I don't understand how you can say you don't own things that you are doing. How does that equate? Particularly on state roads. On state roads, they are barred BSA roads. On state roads, there are toll gates, which you have funded, or which another company will say on the basis of a triple P, they build for you. How can you say you don't own that? It's a simple issue.
Honorable Chairman, all roads are under the custodian of the Minister of Transport. I think that's where I'm coming from. That our role in terms of ownership is limited. Yes, we fund
Isn't that semantics?
because it's part of our core function.
Isn't that semantics?
I don't know, Honorable
Not
Chairman.
really talk it. Right now, it's fully in the control of Zinara. In the Ipambuzaramu. Fully in the domain, custody, jurisdiction of Zinara.
Okay, I will let my other colleagues
Yes.
respond from.
I think Martinez.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, Honorable Chair. I think just to reiterate what the Chairman has indicated, I think it's an issue of funding on the part of Zinara. I think that can be questioned. The issue of
But you also have full custody of those toll gates.
in terms of usage is by Zinara. because we need the toll gates to fulfill our purpose or mandate to collect. So the toll gate is a tool through which we're able to collect. But in terms of ownership of that toll gate, now
it's like Zinara saying, the scanner belongs to government.
No, but I think
the scanner at the airport belongs to government. It's just a tool.
But in this case now, Honorable Chair, we're dealing with the road and the toll gates associated with those same roads. So as far as that is concerned, I think as the Chair has indicated, that is under the custody of the Minister of Transport.
I think we should go down on this.
Last one.
Very simple. Okay, you the last one.
No, maidabasa. Ndoda kubvunza accountant wacho kuti pavanoita expenditure yekufanda construction of a toll gates, vane classify as
accounting.
Okay. When you do your expenditure for the construction of the toll gates, do you classify it under revenue expenditure or it's capital expenditure?
Is a revenue or it's capital expenditure?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Let me refer the question to the correct person.
Yes.
It's the Finance Committee.
Yes, Mr. Accountant. It's a revenue item or does it go into balance sheet or go to the profit loss?
It is taken as a disbursement to the Department of Roads. Because the Department of Roads, when they cite a place where they want to construct a toll gate, they will give Zinara a request for funding to construct the toll gate. That amount which is spent on the toll gate is part of the disbursements which are done through the Department of Roads.
Chairman, through you.
Mr. Accountant, why are you communicating the story?
What function is Zinara is.
Why is it Nagameda with Zinara? I don't follow them.
Issue report there,
Honorable. Can I continue?
Can I continue? Can I continue? Issue report there,
it's a capital project.
It is a capital project, but
it's immovable construction.
It is still the same as road construction. It is part of the roads, but disbursements actually are through the Ministry of Transport. It's also we do not own the toll gate. We only use them like my colleague. Mumar records my books, it is part of the disbursement, and then I work to the Ministry of Department of Roads. It's not a capital project, my books.
Do you have anything in your books you call a capital?
The buildings that is now, those are the capital assets.
Let's move on. I think let's move on. We'll finish. Honorable Zimure, is it you or it's Honorable? I think that's Zimure. This one Zimure. So Zimure, then Honorable, and we move quickly.
Okay. The issue relates to tax on road fees and allowances from the report of 2016. The Auditor General noted that both fees and allowances were not subject to tax. After a Zinara tax audit, Zinara tax audit, Zinara paid board members tax liability without approval from the relevant ministry. Management then responded by saying that they were going to regularize in 2017. Management also indicated that no action was taken to recover the amounts. Now the question is the board aware of the need to recover amounts owed by board members for tax paid on their behalf? Now that you are aware of tax obligations that now that you are aware of tax obligations, what measures are you going to put in place to recover and ensure compliance with tax regulations? Tax legislation, yes.
Chair, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. For this board, again, this pops up as a legal issue, which was done by the previous board. And we also consulted with management on what measures they've taken to resolve this issue. And we are reliably informed that management has actually recovered those monies. And for our board, what I can confirm is that all our board fees and allowances are being taxed, and also they've been approved by the minister. So this problem will not recur, Honorable Chair.
Can you, through Mr. Chairman, can the board chair favor us with the evidence that each individual board member paid back and how much they did pay back?
Because if that is coming from management, that management issuing that, you can't believe that money. You can't believe the precious.
Honorable Chair, I will take note as a board of your presentation, and let me highlight precious is no more we have taken action to question
My point is that I can't just say so without proof. And I've also told Mr. Chairperson that you are going to give them directives. You are going to give them directives. These omissions, these qualifications,
we take note, Honorable Chairman. We will still continue to demand for more action to see to it that this issue is properly resolved and people are compliant.
Mr. Chairman, my question was, can the board favor us with the evidence, especially when we look at someone getting $247,000 US? There must be proof that he paid so much to Zinara. He recovered that money from him. Can you provide the information?
Not Honorable Chairman.
Let's move to the next question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My question is going to be on tax on vehicle disposals and allowances 2016 and 2017 AG's report. The Auditor General noted that Zinara was not complying with the Income Tax Act in that 3 motor vehicle disposed in managers and home telephone and private mileage fuel were not subjected to tax. Zinara management responded that the calculations for taxation purposes will be considered and the beneficiaries will pay the tax as required by the Income Tax Act. Management informed this committee that tax laws were violated and no disciplinary action was taken and no recovery was made. So from the above, the following persons emanated. What measures have the board taken to ensure compliance with the Income Tax Act? 1. 2. Does the board inquire of any non-compliance with laws and legislations?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. As a board, we are also preoccupied with those issues of non-compliance. But my understanding is management is now opted that such payments should be done through the payroll, where taxes can actually be discounted. We also inquire on compliance on tax issues, and so far we haven't had much problems to that effect. And we are also aware that when you go to change ownership of the car, Zinara can actually deduct charge you some taxes during that period of change of ownership. So I hope and I think and I believe and trust that management has actually resolved this issue and it will not recur.
I think the questions, 5.3 The question that said that the board inquire of any non-compliant with laws and legislation is very key. Because I think for your board, it's very easy to get sucked up in the development of work, the disbursement of funds to local authorities for red work. But when you look at these audit reports, there is so much non-compliance with the laws of the country, in particular the tax laws, in particular the Procurement Act. So the question to you, that the honorable member has posed is, what are you doing to ensure that you address this plethora of legacy, non-compliance issues around our laws? Because I suspect you actually need a monitor, a checklist with probably 80 issues that you must tick off and monitor regularly on tenders, on Road Act itself, on tax laws.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Affirmative. We actually inquire on issues to do with compliance. And right now, what I can confirm is that the biggest non-compliance, which was the Zinara, was actually the implementation of roadworks, which are not contemplated as our core functions. I think this is the biggest non-compliance issue that was at Zinara, which we actually stopped as a board to say this should not happen again, and it's not going to happen again. Compliance with tax issues, yes, we will sit as a board to actually come up with a checklist, as the Honorable Chairman has alluded to, so that we can actually control all issues to do with tax compliance.
Yes, something that the Honorable raised.
Thank you very much. When we look at the issues of the payroll, my point of clarity is that is your payroll outsourced or is being managed by the same Tarani case of this world? Who is managing this payroll? Is it outsourced or is from within? Was, yeah, can you clarify for us? Thank you.
It's managed from within. And Tarani is actually the Director for Finance.
I understand why he puts his name there. Why the honorable put that name? Because you are saying we are depending on staff, but that staff is part of the legacy. That's why we said at the beginning we are not seeing any evidence by this board or the minister that you want to create a break with the past.
Honorable Chairman, I can give you the evidence. Actually, when we came in some 3 months ago,
we understand you want to make him CEO.
I'm sorry, Honorable Chairman, that is just a rumor. You can forget that rumor.
You to refuse. Someone will before the speaker.
I think the Honorable Chairman, I tend to differ on that one. I think that is just a rumor which might be circulating around. But we have done a lot. For example, we have done away with the Human Resources and Administration Director. The Technical Director was under arrest, and I understand he was released, and we are not going to take him back. We have done away with the Juma. Juma. We have now the acting CEO, who is also the corporate secretary. She has tendered her resignation. The audit manager has tendered his resignation. And it's Matenga. And from the old structure,
in the main Tarani, where is
the main from the old structure, it's still Tarani who is there. And we don't just get in and throw people away without any cause. We definitely need to establish a cause as to why you throw out someone. But definitely what I can assure...
Honorable Chair, I think the biggest issue is,
yes,
if tax is not being paid, who is responsible?
Honorable Chair, but we have to follow processes.
No, just ask my question. If there's non-compliance with tax laws, isn't the financial director responsible?
You are correct, Honorable Chairman. But we have to follow
if allowances are being paid outside the law, for instance, those year allowances, isn't the finance director responsible?
You are correct, Honorable Chairman.
If gym equipment and other goodies are being paid outside the law, isn't the financial director responsible?
Affirmative.
If board fees are being paid willy-nilly without basis, without any rationale, without taxes, isn't the financial director responsible?
Honorable Chair.
So how can you possibly say there's no reason to act against Tarana?
Honorable Chairman,
how can you possibly say that?
Honorable Chairman, I think the Honorable Committee can allow us to do our work. We are very conscious of what we are doing. So if the committee can allow us...
You are defending it.
Yeah, no, I'm not defending anybody, and I will never defend anybody.
235,000 for the allowance. 200 liters, yeah, I know, Hans, I know them.
Chair, you see why we are asking the outsourcing of the payroll and whether it's being done in-house. It's because of the legacy issues that we are talking about. The issue is all about how are you building the confidence and the assurance to the people of Zimbabwe that something is being done. All these issues that we are talking about, especially the audit, why you have been receiving these qualified opinions over and over again. Much work is lying on the finance team that we are having at Zinara. So that's why we want you to give us that assurance that something is happening. These technical people, this HR and what, fine, but we want to hear where the core issue is. So what is happening there? We are seeing that the audit reports, your accounting system is not complying with the international financial reporting systems, and everything is centering on the finance. What is happening there on the finance? So do you want us to believe that some theories that says maybe now there's a new board chairman and you want also to have this team also eating, others, they have another team, those kind of things. What is happening regarding that issue? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Let me assure this Honorable Committee that this board is a no-nonsense board. And we are going to do, and we are doing our work. What I just alluded to is also take note as an honorable board of the job that we have done in 3 months. And we are still going forward. We never said we have finished our job. Honorable Chairman, you can watch this first.
Okay, we need to move quickly, guys. These questions are next. Yes.
Chair, can you confirm that the finance director was recently reported to anti-corruption for misappropriation of some fuel?
Honorable Chairman, that hasn't been brought officially to our attention as a board. If he was summoned by the anti-corruption, we will go and inquire. Thank you for the information because we are going to inquire on this one.
Let's move on, guys.
I'll ask Chief here. Honorable Chair, I'll ask at the end. Like, mine is more general.
We need to move, guys. We need to Honorable, I think it's you.
Honorable.
Oh, thank you. You're too quiet.
I'm behaving. Thank you very much. Chair, the Auditor General indicated that petty cash was being disbursed through people's personal accounts. In addition, there was no laid down procedure insofar as this arrangement was concerned. When your management was asked, they indicated that they were liaison with their bankers and that they were going to use ATM cards in future. The question therefore is, do you now have procedures that cover the disbursement of petty cash? And number two, why did the board allow for the use of personal accounts in the disbursement of petty cash, which in itself is irregular?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. What I can confirm is that our board is not going to allow any cash to be disbursed through personal accounts, because that's an issue of non-compliance. And also, no, it was, I'm informed it was just a temporary arrangement that was done by them, because right now they are using ATM cards, which can actually be, which belongs to Zinara and which can actually be audited. So that situation has been rectified.
For me, Chairman, I think it's shocking that an organization like Zinara can create ATM cards for its employees and pay public funds to a personal account.
Honorable
How
Chairman,
do you create these opportunities of arbitrage?
Honorable Chairman, as I have alluded to, it was a temporal measure which was done, which was non-compliant.
Temporal measure for 3 years.
Yeah,
It's in the 2016 report, it's in the 2016 report, it's in the 2017 report. So the Auditor General raising the same issues.
To come to the same legal issues as I've said, but this board will not allow that
Why are you saying temporal when it was
through petty cash.
When were you saying it was a temporal measure when it was permanent?
We inquired from management why is that was done. And the answer from Mr. Terani was that this was a temporary measure. That is stopped.
Okay, second part, Honorable Vote.
I've asked for my questions, Chair.
Okay.
Yes.
So, next question. I think we need to move, guys. Honorable.
Yeah, my question refers to toll gate infrastructure. As pointed out by the Auditor General's report of 2017, the Auditor General noted that there were no proper overload lanes, yeah, for the toll gates. And the examples of these are Chivi, Mutumba, Naud, and Kwari. The response by management was that there were plans to modernize toll gate infrastructure as well as improving the roads. My question is, why did Zinara take so long to come up with plans to upgrade toll infrastructure? And also, can you update the committee on the progress Zinara has made on modernizing the infrastructure? Because this has got a bearing on the revenue that you'll be getting.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. As I have alluded to before, we don't build toll gates or those overload lanes. What Zinara does is just to fund the works. Those works are implemented by the Department of State Roads, which I've alluded to before, that they are doing the procurement process, which is almost coming to an end. And in this year's budget, we have a line item to fund the overload lanes and also the construction of improved toll gates with better conditions than we have now.
My supplement. I've been listening to your answer. What we are saying is when we are dealing with the Auditor General's report, we're dealing with the past. And Zinara was directly responsible. I like your response on plans. Is it going to be this year or next year?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I've alluded to the fact that we have got a line item in this year's budget for the construction of overflowed lands and the general improvement of our tolling infrastructure. The reason why I still refer that it's a legacy issue, because I feel, and I think all members of this board have the same feeling, that we can't be asked or why the other body did this, because they might have taken a wrong step which is not compliant. What our board can actually do is to correct those compliant issues and be compliant.
Mr. Chairman. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can the board chair clarify one thing? When the Auditor General's report is referred to the management and they are asked to respond, they respond affirmatively saying they are responsible for making improvements on the tokens. But you are continuously saying it is not Zinara's responsibility. But from the auditor's report and from the management response, it is Zinara that is promising to make the necessary improvements. Are you reading from the same book, you and your management?
Affirmative. We take note of that, but Honorable Chairman, if tomorrow you see Zinara mobilizing construction equipment and putting those over the land, would you say we are in compliance? Our function is to fund, not to construct.
That's what we do.
There was no compliance in the past. We have already accepted to that, and we have assured this board and we assure the public that those things will not happen again, not under our watch. We are going to stick to our core functions, which is funding the roadways, and the local authorities will do the tendering, implementation, and the rest of the work. We will fund and then we will audit, and we will carry out monitoring and evaluation. That's as far as our core functions are concerned.
Next question is.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My question is coming from special projects according to the 2017 annual general auditor's report. The Auditor General reported that during the year, the board administration engaged some service providers to carry out special and emergency projects on behalf of local authorities. For some of the projects done, there was no evidence to suggest that the projects had been subjected to tender processes. Zinara management responded by saying that the administration's position is that going forward, all special projects will be done under specific road authorities. Road authorities will be responsible for tendering process within their jurisdiction, and payments will be paid upon satisfaction by the council. In special cases, Zinara may undertake projects directly with the approval from parent ministry. Now my first question is that, why did the board allow Zinara to contravene procurement laws by not following formal tender procedures? The second one, what measures has the board taken to ensure compliance with the relevant procurement laws? The last one, the last question, has the board been appraised on special projects status, and please confirm whether all special projects have been successfully completed to expectations.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I can confirm. I can confirm.
3 months.
Yes, I can confirm to this House that definitely that was wrong on the part of Zinara to directly implement roadworks, because it's nowhere in the Road Act that Zinara should implement roadworks. And I understand you, Honorable Chairman, and I understand you, Honorable Chairman, and if you I understand you, Honorable Chairman, if you actually recall what I said at the beginning, that your preoccupation are also the preoccupation that this body is having. We know that was a non-compliance issue, which for this board is a legal issue, which we have already corrected, because from the day when we were appointed, we've gone right around the country talking to local authorities, province by province, and assuring them that it's their responsibility to do the tendering, award of contracts, and the implementation of works. And it's not the responsibility of Zinara. The responsibility of Zinara, according to our core functions, which are defined in the Roads Act, will limit ourselves just to funding, auditing, and doing monitoring. And this is exactly what we are going to do. So for us, it's a legal issue. I am saying it was wrong, but this board has corrected that anomaly, and it will not happen again.
But what have you done now with monies that were paid in the past to people who didn't pay for? Just to give you one example, a Twalumba construction, given huge amounts of money in Bidura, in Binga, they'll just put up a few structures and then move away. What have you done? What have you done to recover on behalf of those amounts?
Honorable Chairman, what I can assure this House is that those who violated the laws of this country would one day appear the court of law to answer for their transgressions. We as a board, what we are going to do is to ensure that wherever there are shortcomings, we will make sure that those shortcomings are investigated properly, and those responsible must be prosecuted. And we must also strive to recover those monies, be it through civil proceedings. We will do our best to ensure that those monies are recovered. Yes, we know there were not issues to do with non-compliance. And our first step as a quick win was to ensure that all those issues which are non-compliant with the Roads Act do not have to recur. And I think that is stopped. And I can assure you, just by doing that, we've actually solved around 70% of our problems at this now. So I'm confident, and this board is very confident, that we will not allow those things to happen again.
I would say 70%. Because you still have even within the 60% of your drainage.
Honorable Chairman, I think I've made this very clear that we are going to call unity.
Chairman, to be fair, I'm not justifying it. The guys who are doing special projects are carpenter compared to you. Matemba.
Chairman. Chairman.
Chief Bushu.
Two chiefs. So it's Chief Nyashana.
So thank you, Chair. No, we hear the chair, but our concern is he is part of the legacy program himself. And how is he going to be prosecuting those who he has been working? And can this committee surely be convinced?
Yeah, I find that part of the legal problem. But I think that might be some wishful thinking of some sort.
In the sense that we were part of the management, the oversight of Zinara.
And I'm still doing oversight.
But you asked that's a fair question. In other words, how can you give this committee guarantees?
Well, the guarantees that I can give this committee is we actually took some measures against some of these ones. For the record, it's us who put a policy directive for Zinara to stop implementing. Only that maybe that policy directive was not fully implemented. And we also decided the non-renewal of the then board chairman's contracts. So these are issues that we were taking to actually sanitize Zinara.
Who was the board chairman?
Mr. Mugabe. And then for the record, when the technical director,
who was your minister?
It was Honorable Kungu. When the technical director was implicated in some abuse of office issues, we made sure he was arrested. We also made sure that some directors were taken to court to respond to some abuse of office issues. And we did a lot to sanitize this now. So I'm just continuing from where I left.
Supplementary special projects.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My question is, we just want you to confirm to this committee, are special projects still going on? And the other issue is that the question of the Honorable Member, the original question, the last part, you didn't answer it satisfactorily when she asked you, the board, to confirm what is the status of the special projects that were being implemented. Are you aware of them? And were they all successfully implemented according to your assessment as a board? We just wanted you to confirm.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I can confirm special projects are still continuing, but now under local authorities. It's the local authorities which have to come up with those special projects. As Zinara, we will justify it. However, they have to pass through the minister's office for approval. So they are still going on, but we are no longer implementing those. They are now being implemented by local authorities. As to the status of special projects, unfortunately, I can't say, I don't have the list right now with me, but I know there might be projects which might not have been successfully implemented, as the Honorable Chairman has alluded to, that some projects were not completely implemented, or they were of poor quality, or actually the contract is deemed complete whilst the works were not completed.
What are you doing with that?
We are going to analyze contract by contract to ensure who did what in what time, and if there is any prejudice to Zinara, we will make sure, this board will make sure that those responsible should answer for themselves. That is the part we are going to play as a board.
On this, I'll come to you, Honorable. We were very happy when the minister, and in particular the new permanent secretary, accepted that in terms of the act, Zinara, he has no right to carry out special projects. That to them, the permanent secretary and the minister, special projects is only a funding mechanism to fund a project that is arisen out of urgent circumstances. For instance, part of the reconstruction that has to take place arising out of Cyclone Idai. But that doesn't mean that tender procedures have to be avoided, because we heard you say right now that the minister, once the minister approves, we hope you understand that the minister approving doesn't mean obviating the procurement laws of this country. I hope you can confirm that. Then the second thing, which we are concerned with your management. When we met your management insisted that the Zinara had the power of implementing, not funding, implementing special projects. And they referred us to section 13 of the Act, which doesn't say so. Which is why we keep on having trouble with your current management. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chairman. In as far as approval by the minister, it's only after that approval. Approval is just approving the budget. But then once the budget is approved, then the tendering process can now take place by the local authority, not by Zinara. And Honorable Chairman, let me assure you and the nation at large, if somebody dreams of implementing roadworks at Zinara, let's just take that as a dream. It's not going to happen. No one is...
People are still dreaming, we're still paying them.
We will deal with them, Honorable Chairman. This I can assure you.
Including this dreamer called Caravan.
Right. The reason why we are asking about this issue of special projects, and you were saying Zinara's mandate was just to do the payments. I think there's something that was not being done right there. Because all the payments, what we are picking up from the auditor reports is like these people were paid in full. But the work status is not known. So as a board, how are you looking at the truth? The money is already gone. The status whether the work was done or not done, no one knows when it comes to Zinara. I mean, how are you dealing with that issue as a board? To say, let everything be being equal as we are dealing with this issue of disbursement of money in the state of 2016.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I completely agree to the statement, but what I can assure this House is, in the road construction, if you are paid for work which you did not do, that's a breach. You have to answer for it. And I've already alluded to the fact that...
But how do you answer for it, Chairman?
We'll take you to court, Honorable Chairman.
Yeah, but there's a law called prescription. There's a little law called prescription. The Prescription Act of Zimbabwe, which in section 14 says, if you don't do anything within 3 years, it's dead. And this contract prescription already is
well, thank you, Honorable Chairman. I'm not a legal mind, but I can refer to my legal mind to try to get people from this and actually explain how we are going to deal with this issue.
How do you recover when prescription is already? Some of the people are dead.
Chair, I think, indeed, Honorable Chair, I think two issues. The Chair has indicated that we're doing a contract analysis process. We have to do that in
contract.
That's correct.
Yes.
And then
what are the limits now?
That is correct.
If you find omissions and commissions.
Yes. Now, what is happening is, remember, we are acknowledging that these contracts are actually running. So if they are running, prescription can kick in. Because, but if the contracts are running,
cancel. They got paid. Got their money and ran away.
But the contract is still valid. It's still ongoing, which means we can still enforce that contract. prescription cannot apply.
People against some companies that are now in
Well, I think that's part of the analysis we have to do now to understand whether or not, each company, that due diligence, we have to do that. I think the chair has already given detailed feedback on that.
Council, you're not sounding convinced.
In what aspect, Honorable Chair? No, Chair, I think the assurance is, as we analyze each contract, it's taken already, these contracts are valid. None of them has been cancelled. So if they are valid, it means we can still go through the criminal process. We can still, where there's been criminal activity. And for those that we need to enforce, we still have the right to enforce. That right has not fallen away. So we will enforce it as well.
Yes,
in a lot of these answers, Chair, in a lot of these answers, this assessment, like we've just heard now, seems to be an ongoing process. It never actually gets to finality. You never, to assess a contract shouldn't take years. I mean, we're talking years now. Nothing's happened. But we're assessing. We're going through the process, but we never get to the end. So when is the end of all these contract assessments?
Chief Bush.
As a matter of interest, how many of these special projects are still running?
I think that's contracts.
Special projects. Yeah. The special projects have gone.
Honorable Chairman, unfortunately, we can't provide a figure now, but we know there's some special projects that are ongoing. And as to the analysis, I've already alluded to the fact that Zinara was not in compliance, which means the board also was failing to comply with the rules and regulations. This board has been in place for 3 months, and what we can assure you is that we are going to be compliant, and we are going to analyze contract by contract. And each and everyone who violated the laws of this country should be taken to respond before a court of law.
Yeah, Mr. Chairperson, just to say to you that this is one of the things that we as a committee are seriously concerned. So we are seriously concerned with 3 issues. The governance of Zinara. The governance of Zinara has been pathetic. Money has been spent without due respect to principles of good governance, which are codified in our constitution. The headdresses, the gyms, the ambars, and so forth. Number 2, we're concerned with the contracts in respect of the toll gates, the contracts in respect of the vehicle license. Under unit, they are oppressive, they are contracts against the good public policy, CPM, contra bonus mores. 3rd, we're concerned with the special projects. 4th, we're concerned with infrared. These are issues that affect us. So let's move to infrared. Please ask me questions.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Chair. My question is on infrared tax obligation from the 2016 AG's report. The Auditor General noted that Infralink Private Limited received a garnish order from Zimbabwe with the authority Zinara for understatement of income tax and the VAT amounting to 46,977,476 per year. The management responded by saying the matter has been escalated to the level of 2 persons. The first person is Zinara. If the formation of Infralink considered the company's national project status and the tax implications of its activities, in the body's view, if such consideration has been done, what could have been the result? The second question, are you aware of the issue and has this been resolved? If not, what steps are you intending to take? That's the board.
Mr. Chairman, bearing in mind that this thing keeps on coming in all the documents.
Honorable Chairman, I completely agree with you, Honorable Chairman. I think there was an oversight when it comes to applying for a special project status, national project status for that project. It was not done on time, because if it had been done, then no one should have been taxed. It was not done, but I understand the process is now in motion, and Zinara is now exempt from paying tax, and only Infralink is to be exempted, and their tax issues has been held in abeyance, as the honorable member has said, and we are still waiting for the finalization of this issue. But we feel government money cannot be taxed, because that's the money we are using to pay back the DBSA loan. So I don't think it's correct that it can be taxed. But the issue is now between Zinara and Zinara to see how best they can resolve that issue.
Our concern is one of the members is that it's been raised that this is cheated between for countless times. No one seems to, because it must be so easy to apply for special project status for the infrared road, because clearly it's a national project.
I concur with you.
So why should that take 4 years, 5 years?
I hope it will not take more 4 years to be done as a matter of urgency.
Yes,
thank you, Chair. I'm alive to the situation that the DBSA loan was 206 million at inception. At some point, we were given oral evidence to the effect that 50% only found its way to road construction, the Plumtree-Butare Highway, 821 kilometers, giving a notion that maybe 100 million was used for roadways and the rest was taxed. My concern is how much is it that you have paid back to DBSA as a loan, and by the time that you finish paying, how much would you have paid plus interest? I'm quite concerned, and also want to know when is this loan expiring, or this agreement expiring with Intertop, because it's linked to this DBSA loan agreement, the Plumtree-Butare Highway, which is 206 million. How much are you going to be paying at the end, and how much went to road construction of that 206 percentage fund?
The amount paid, how much is going to interest, how much is going to be capital amount? And what is the capital, how much do we owe now as a country? From the principal amount, how much do we owe as outstanding?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Very unfortunately, I cannot say figures here, because...
Two men on your left.
Yes, but I just wanted to finish, Honorable Chairman, by saying that we as a board, we are not yet privileged to that oral evidence that Honorable Duna is referred to. But what I can assure this House, I know contracts that were signed from there, 2010 coming up. There's quite a lot of issues that needs to be reviewed. And I've already alluded to the fact that we are going to review contract by contract to actually ensure that these contracts are above board. And wherever there are anomalies, we are going to propose for a review of the contract conditions. In terms of figures, maybe I can refer to the finance committee chairperson. You might have gone through those documents and might have some figures. But I think this is an operational questions which questions to do with figures should come from the most headed man in Mr. Tarangate. He has to provide us with those figures.
As my chairman has just alluded to, at the moment I cannot give you figures.
Just give us within 2 weeks, because you can get those figures from your management.
No, that's fine. You can have them ready.
Yes, the results of taking the figures that you have signed. But when is the intertalk infra link agreement expired?
Mr. Chairman, what's the duration of your agreement?
When is it expiring as a result?
I am told there were some negotiations which were done maybe some previous 2 years, and because the duration of the contract was supposed to be 10 years, but this has been extended because maybe Zinara was having some problems in raising foreign currency to service that, because that loan is serviced in foreign currency.
No, how long?
I understand, I'm informed that it will now end in 2031.
Oh. So in 2030. I think we need copies of that. Can we have copies of that?
Noted, Honorable Chairman.
So I've got another question. Which has been bothering me each time I go to Bulawayo or to Mutare. The Department of Roads is constructing its own road to go to Maroke. And then the place they are moving, hopefully by next year, we could have a full dualization of the road between Harare and Bulawayo. There's also some decent progress which is being made on the Norton road. I think that if we move with the speed, by the end of next year, we will dualize all the way to Selu. That means that wherever there's a current toll gate now, in Rua, after Mtangadura and in Norton, the Norton toll gate, you have to put it on the other side because it will be dualized. What's the legal position now? Well, that's now a state road. It's not the DPSA road. But if you put your toll gate there, it means you are now prejudicing the capacity of Zinara to service this day, because it is being served by cars to Bulawaya and from Bulawaya, cars to Mutare and from Mutare. What's the answer, Council?
I think, thank you, Honorable Chair. That aspect is obviously, it's an issue that has not yet been considered by the board.
That's why we're asking you now. Yes. It's clearly a legal issue.
Indeed, and I think that is noted.
If I was DPSA, I would say, we're entitled to that toll. That's representing Zimbabwe, but you didn't build this road.
Indeed, Chair. I think what we can do is to consult the relevant parties.
You have the boards.
Indeed, Chair. As we're saying, we are seized with many other matters, and this is also one of those important matters we have to take up. So you are assured that we'll take note of that issue and make the necessary inquiries and consider it as a board, and then give you feedback.
Just to add to that, Honorable Chair, it doesn't necessarily mean that to service the BSA loan, only money coming from the toll gates on the plan to Mutare Road is used. We use money from all toll gates in the country. So whether we dualize and collect money on the other level, that money will still be.
The road says you are paid by those toll gates. You are paid by those toll gates.
Okay, we definitely will take note of that, Honorable Chairman, try to go deeper and see what the issue is. But I know all money from toll gates will be destined to pay our loans.
At some point, we're supposed to post 147 million GBSA loan finance. It never happened because we were supposed to increase our fuel 2 cents a liter on diesel, cent per liter on petrol. And now my question therefore is, on your infrastructure development agenda, which you are financing, how long and how much will it take to get to Kandoma on this particular road that Honorable Chair is alluding to, that is coming from Norton, it's past Brian Store now, and route to Selu? How long and how much is it one of your rather infrastructure development projects which you are financing the Department of Roads on? And how long will it take? And how much will it take?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I think that question can be properly answered by the Ministry itself by implementing the project. And I think we need to prepare ourselves to answer those questions, because I don't think it's still constituting part of the Auditor General's report that we came to respond to.
Yeah, I think you are being unfair, Mr. Chairperson. You see, when we ask people, when we bring people here, we are bringing them on their core subjects, on their core business, their core mission, on their core mandates. So roads, and that road in particular, is something that is core. So we expect you to answer questions.
Yes, Honorable Chairman.
If you can't answer it, it's fair to say, no, I don't have the details.
Yes,
because of course it's a difficult question.
That's very correct.
Yes.
You need figures,
so if you say that, we just expect you.
You need everything.
Yeah.
And that will be very difficult for
Because
me
once
to-
you start saying, it's not part of the, we see a defensiveness. When we see a defensive, then we say, but why?
I take note, Honorable Chairman.
Thank you, thank you. I think let's move to the next question.
Chairman, my question is on the AG's 2016 report on the banking with banks, funds with banks under liquidation. The Zinara had approximately 2.2 million with Allied Bank. Management has responded saying that you have registered the amount with, under the Depositors Protection Corporation. You're waiting for the outcome from the liquidator. Management also indicated that no recovery of these funds have been made. What is the board doing pertaining to these funds? And the second question is, at what stage, at what time was there was a large deposit put in? At what stage before the bank went into liquidation was that money put into that? Thank you.
Over to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. We as a board, we haven't taken any measures or resolutions on this one, but what we can assure this House is that we are going to ensure that our management will attend a creditors meeting, because we definitely need that money. And when that money was put, I know it was an account which was used for collecting revenue from vehicle licenses. So
who was the minister?
I'm not now very sure.
Minister